Hello, everybody. Welcome. Okay, so I'm so excited. I'm so excited to talk to you guys about having health and fitness goals. You know, it's so interesting as I became a binge eating coach. For those of you guys, I feel like there's so many new people here. First of all, before I even dive into anything, there's so many new people on here. One of my videos on Facebook hit over 1 million views, and there's so many new people that are now following me, listening to my podcast. So if you are new here, hello, thank you so much for being here. For those of you guys who do not know, I am a binge eating coach. I used to be a health and fitness coach. I used to have a fitness studio with my husband. So I was very much into health and fitness, and I still am very much into health and fitness. I love exercising. I love eating well. I love moving my body. But things have changed for me in terms of how I approach my health and fitness goals. And I think when you're working on healing your relationship with food, there's often a lot of fear of, if I work on my relationship with food, then I won't be able to have my health and fitness goals. And I know that was really like one of my biggest fears of, like, when I was a health coach and I was super into fitness, I did not want to throw my health out the window. I didn't want to work on my relationship with food and start eating junk. I didn't want to start eating foods that I didn't actually want to eat because I, quote unquote, had food freedom. And to me, you can go about healing your relationship with food and being healthy without doing those things. Everybody's version of food freedom and health is going to look different. But for this purpose of this right now, I want to talk about having health and fitness goals, because sometimes you might, I know for me, like, you know, it was almost like I kind of felt bad for like wanting to have health and fitness goals when I was wanting to improve my relationship with food. And somebody actually messaged me the other day and she's like, oh, like, I wish I can have both. Like, I wish I can still work on my health and fitness goals and be able to heal my relationship with food. And the reality is you can have both. Do you need to do things in the right order? Absolutely. Are you able to focus on weight loss and heal your relationship with food? That is a little bit different, because oftentimes when you're focusing on weight loss, you most likely are going to be in a calorie restricted state, which actually increases your impulsivity. So it's like, one thing, dieting is increasing your binge urges. And then when you're recovering from binge eating, you are trying to get rid of those binge urges. So that's why that's a little sticky. It's a little more challenging. So it's important to do things in the right order. But having health and fitness goals is not the problem. The problem is believing that in order for you to get there, in order for you to reach your health goals, in order for you to reach your fitness goals, you have to struggle to get there. You have to go to extremes to get there. And like I said, one of my videos on Facebook, it went viral. It's at like 1.5 million views or something like that now. And just for context, it was a video of me like weighing out my food, like showing that I was weighing out my food. I was, measuring everything, and I was eating super healthy. And then as soon as I had some chocolate, then, I showed an example of me pretending like I was binge eating to really put emphasis on an unhealthy relationship with food, to bring more awareness of what an unhealthy relationship with food looks like as a binge eating coach. And I'm very well aware that it was probably not clear, because some people did not understand the purpose, that I was actually purposely showing an unhealthy relationship with food. I got some comments like, I think you have an eating disorder. Or like, this is not healthy. And I take full responsibility for that, because it definitely was not clear. I'm so used to posting reels and TikToks on my Instagram and my TikTok where my name literally says Lorna _ binge eating coach. So the people that come and follow me know that I'm a binge eating coach. So when they see videos of me, showing an example of binge eating or an unhealthy relationship with food, they get it. But I take full responsibility because this is on my Facebook page where it actually says my full name. And people who are just new, I mean, the video got over 1 million views. The people that are new didn't really understand kind of the purpose of the video. But there were lots of comments of recommendations of like what to do. And I'm going to read some comments, some like example comments or whatever. And, at first when I read these comments, I like wanted to scream. I'm like, no, you don't have to go to extremes. Like, you don't have to kill yourself. Like, restriction is not the answer. Like, doing these crazy things with food is not the solution. Like, please, like, do not restrict yourself. But then again, I remember, not too long ago, a few years ago, like, I was doing these things with food that now if I see somebody doing them, I'm like, don't do that. But I only knew what I knew back then. I used to track my macros. I used to do intermittent fasting. I used to do keto. I used to do all these things. And I was always the person that was on that diet. So I get it because like I've literally been there. But I'm going to read some of the comments. And it said, do a sugar fast. Just eat vegetables. And if you feel guilty, do cardio. It's wrong if you have sweets after a meal. I'm just going to get lipo and walk every day. If you eat vegan, you don't gain weight. I found something that I drink. It tastes like Kool-Aid and I lost 40 pounds and it's so simple. And the reason I want to bring this up is because there are so many people believing that they have to struggle to be fit and healthy. And again, that was me. I didn't know any other way. I grew up dieting. Like since the age of, I was in 8th grade, since I was 14 years old, I grew up dieting. Like that's what I knew. I took foods out of my diet. I restricted myself. I did extreme exercises. Like I was literally over exercising like every single day. It was very unhealthy. And I thought that's what I had to do because that's what I saw. Well, I saw other people that I was following on social media track their macros and they saw great results. So that's what my brain thought that I had to do. I did portion fix, 21-day portion fix containers. And I was like weighing all this stuff in these little containers. And what ends up happening is when you see somebody else doing something and they saw great results, you think that if you just do the same thing, then you're going to see great results. I saw somebody doing keto and I'm like, well, they saw results. I'm going to do it and I'm going to get the same results. Or somebody did a juice fast and then I did a juice fast and I'm like, wait, why didn't I get really good results? So this is why people believe that they have to go to these extremes in order to get fit and healthy. Right. And this is why people become so scared to eat. Like, I don't even know what to eat. Like, what's good? What's bad? What's the right thing to do? Right. This is why people believe that they have to cut sugar out of their diet or they have to go on a diet in order to, reach their health and fitness goals. And like I said, I totally get it because that was once me. I literally did all the different diets out there. Like, it was crazy. Like I did all the things. And at the time, I knew that what I was doing was unhealthy. I knew at the time what I was doing was wrong. I'll never forget this one time. It was about 6 years ago. And I went on vacation with Andrew's family. And it was like, okay, I have 2 months or however time. Okay, I'm going to get in the best shape of my life because if I'm going to go on vacation, then I have to look good. So of course, I was like tracking my macros. I was in my fitness pal. I was spending, all day like tracking my food, weighing out my food. I was over exercising. I remember like waking up in the morning, even if I was so exhausted and I'm like, nope, you have to do your cardio in the morning. Then I would do a weight training session and I'd be like, hungry, but it's like, oh, you don't have any more macros left throughout the day. So, you just got to go to bed, like just drink some water, like you'll be okay. And at the time, I knew it was not healthy. I knew this was not sustainable. But at the time, I was like, I don't know how else to fix my body. I don't know how else to change my body. I don't know how else to lose this weight before going on vacation. Like, it's crunch time. And I think a lot of people, when there's like a timeline or whatever, it's like we get into desperation mode and it's like, I'm willing to do whatever it takes, even though I know it's not healthy, even though I know it's not going to be sustainable. I'm just going to do it now because I have to go on this trip. And then when I get back, I'm going to figure out the rest. And it's so sad because I first started getting into health and fitness because I wanted to take care of myself. Like, I truly wanted to feel good. I wanted to be healthy. Like, that was actually like a big priority for me, like just being healthy and, being fit and strong and like having energy. Like, that was like, I got into health and fitness because I wanted to take good care of myself. And I realized that everything that I did to try to be healthy and try to be fit was actually extremely unhealthy. Health is going to look different for every single person. But what I know to be true is health is not a size. We think if I just reach a certain weight, then I'm going to be healthy. And of course, if, I'm not talking about people who literally need to lose, weight for their health or whatever, if they have certain, conditions and like they literally have to, like one of my clients, that I work with, she was like, I had to lose weight because like my joints, my knees, that's different. But health is not restriction. Health is not, you're hungry, but you don't have any macros left, or this food's not on your plan, so you just can't eat. Health is not restriction. Health is not you're craving something, but you tell yourself that you shouldn't have it or you're not allowed to have it. Health is not forcing yourself to eat foods that you don't enjoy. That's not healthy. Health is not, punishing yourself, forcing yourself to like drink shakes or like that's not health. Health is not having to think about food all the time. Health is not having to weigh and track and measure every single thing that you eat. Because if it's causing anxiety, if it's causing, this obsession about food and calories, that's not healthy. And people looked at me like when I was a fitness coach, and of course I would do these things with food, and then of course my body would change, and of course I looked fit, and people would always tell me how disciplined I was and how motivated I was and how inspiring I was, like, oh my gosh, you're so fit, you're so healthy. And meanwhile, I was the most unhealthy that I've ever been. When I would go out for dinner or lunch with my girlfriends, and I would always order like a salad, I would always order like the healthiest thing on the menu, or I wouldn't get dessert. And my friends would always say to me, like, Lorna is so dedicated, like she's so motivated, she eats so healthy. And I'm like, if you only knew that I'm actually scared to eat that dessert. If you only knew that I just binged before going out for dinner, so I'm actually super full, so I can't order what it is that I want. Like, if you only knew. And this is the thing, it's like there's so much that actually goes on behind the scenes. So that's not healthy. Like, healthy is not like looking a certain way. Like, you can have this body, but internally I was thinking about food all the time. I was obsessing about calories. I was binging and then beating myself up. If I ate something bad or off limits, I'd, completely throw off everything off track. And it was just a whole thing that it was just very, very unhealthy. Spending so much time thinking about food. So that is not health. Health is not a one size fits all. Somebody who has binge eating what they have to do is going to be different for somebody who has a healthy relationship with food and who wants to lose weight. Like the things that you have to do is going to be different. Somebody who's starting intuitive eating, the way that they have to work on their food is going to be different for somebody who eats normally and who's been eating intuitively like their whole life, right? So having health and fitness goals is not wrong. It's not bad. But if you believe that the way that you have to get there is through punishing yourself, like that's not healthy. And I know for me, like, because I was so used to like working super hard, over exercising, dieting, and like punishing myself, it's like when I first started intuitive eating and I first started to like start listening to my body, it was almost like I felt lazy. I'm like, there's no way like I'm going to see results with this. Like, I feel lazy. Like, I need to be starving myself, or I need to be at least hungry. Like this isn't going to work. And it's like diet culture just ingrains these things in our mind. And it's just so unhealthy. So you can absolutely have health and fitness goals, and I encourage it, right? Moving your body is incredible. Wanting to take better care of yourself is amazing. And you can still do that while healing your relationship with food. It's about shifting your perspective, changing your relationship with health, getting clear on what health actually means to you, and seeing if your behaviors of what you're doing actually is in alignment with health. Because when you start to obsess about food and calories, it no longer becomes about health. Being on a meal plan, having to track and weigh and measure all of your food, like it's not health. So you have to really create new evidence, because if you've done something in the past, maybe it was Weight Watchers, or you did track macros and you lost weight, even though you know the way that you got there wasn't healthy, your brain now has evidence for that is what worked. So if I want to lose weight, that's what I have to do again. And this happened to me so many times, even with like, I would do a workout program. And at the time, like I was very much into Beachbody. This was like 10 years ago. And I would always do like Insanity, and I would get great results with that. So in my mind, I'm like, I can't weight train. The only way that I can see results is if I do this one workout program. It's like your brain creates evidence for like, this is what worked to help you to lose the weight. So the way that you have to lose weight this time, you have to repeat the same thing. And that just never works, because your body changes, hormones changes, taste buds change, like energy levels change, everything shifts and changes. So you have to create new evidence for why eating intuitively, listening to your body, being gentle to yourself, how that can actually create results for you. Because right now your brain is just looking at the past and seeing of all the things that you've tried that work to help you. But there's also all these other things over here that can also help you. But it feels like the unknown, because it's like, well, I did that before and that's the thing that helped me. But if you always just go back, it's like you're always going to have to feel like you have to do exactly what you did before. And that's why it's so hard for people to transition to intuitive eating, because, when you're so used to tracking calories and macros, it's like you've done that for so long, where it's almost like it just feels wrong to start eating intuitively. It's like, no, like this is what I have to do. You know what I mean? And it's like, it's so challenging to start something different, to start something new. But the only way that you can actually see results in a more efficient, a more sustainable way is if you start doing that approach. It's if you start mastering intuitive eating, you start listening to your body. There are better ways out there, you guys. I promise, like, you do not have to be weighing your food. You don't have to take photos of every single thing that you're eating. You don't have to weigh yourself. You don't have to, go to these crazy extremes. You don't have to do that. So you need to find evidence for why you don't have to do that. And also, I'm sure you're probably so fed up with dieting and tracking and weighing and measuring everything. And I'm sure you want a better approach. And for a lot of people, they want a better approach, but they don't know that they can either have a better approach, they don't believe that it's possible for them, or it's like, I don't know what the new approach is. Those are really the three things, right? Like, I don't, what is the new approach? Like, what does it even look like? What do I do? Is it even possible for me? Like, what does that even look like? Right? It's like, all I've known was dieting for so long. It's like, this feels so weird. What's this whole intuitive eating thing? What's this whole, I have to just listen to my body? Like, how do I eat intuitively? Right? Like, there's so much that goes into it. But what I really want to drive home with this is setting health and fitness goals is not bad. Setting health and fitness goals is not wrong. It's not bad. As long as you're doing it in a healthy way, you have the right mindset, you can absolutely do it. I've always had, health and fitness goals. They have evolved over time. I went from wanting to just be the smallest version of me to, I actually want to be I want to have energy. I want to be able to feel strong and lift heavy and be super flexible and stretch so that my hip flexors don't hurt me if I sit all day long. It's crazy how your goals change and evolve over time. If you would ever have told me that I would no longer be tracking my macros, I didn't think there would ever be a time where I would stop. I never would have thought that there would ever be a time where I actually could, rest instead of forcing myself to exercise. I never would have thought this was possible. But it is. And I will be hosting a masterclass actually at the end of the month. If you are somebody who has health and fitness goals, but you also want to do it in a healthy way where you can still work on your relationship with food and you don't slide back into old diet culture waste, that you don't become obsessive, you don't start thinking about calories and food all day. I am going to be showing you exactly how to have both, how to have a healthy relationship with food, and how to be able to work on your health and fitness goals in a very healthy and sustainable way so you can be consistent long-term. That's going to be happening at the end of the month. So if anyone listening to this is interested, you can just DM me and I can share more information with you. This masterclass is going to happen at the end of the month. So please take good care of your body. Please take good care of your body. Restriction and being hard on yourself is never the answer. It's never the answer. It's never the answer, especially not long-term. It might be the answer short-term where you get that quick burst of gratification of boom, I lost weight, I dieted my face off and I lost weight. But then it's you have to deal with the consequences of that, consequences of the heavy restriction. And, I can talk about this all day, but when I restricted and I was dealing with severe restriction, that's what also was one of the things that actually led me to struggle with binge eating, right? So it's there's a better way. You have to be kind to yourself. You have to be more compassionate towards yourself. You don't have to go to extremes. Having health and fitness goals is amazing. I encourage you to do that. And I'm going to be sharing with you exactly how to do it in a healthy way in my upcoming masterclass. So like I said, if you're interested, you can message me. But thank you guys so much for listening and being here. I hope you have an amazing rest of your day, and we'll see you guys soon. Bye, guys.